So this is just 5 lines about someone I loved and someone I love, and I am comparing with the night. So she is the night wearing the stars in her gown. Her face is the moon that shines alone. The darkness she has in her heart is a mystery, and the silence around, but a storm within, deep within. That's what she is, glittery, shiny, dark and mysterious. She is the night I live in.
Wow.
Who's next? Who's next?
My name is Disha, and just like ma'am, even
Daritri, no ma'am.
just like Dharitri, even I am a teacher and I am much older to, I think, almost everybody over here. I dream of a dragon, a friendly dragon. That's my best friend, and it comes, near the window of my room and then offers a ride. It's more like a round the world trip kind of a thing. It is just that I couldn't jotted down few things because I don't remember what I had written earlier. I dream of a dragon, and that dragon comes near my window, offers a ride, takes me to places, helps me feel that I'm going around the world tour, gives wings to my fantasies, and takes me to a world of belief.
Hi everyone, my name is Soumya. I'm a student at XIMB. I'm doing my Masters in Human Resource Management. After studying in school, I went wrongly into science, then into engineering, then now into MBA. I'm still trying to find out what I want to do in life. I found it out, but now I'm looking for ways to pursue it. Anyways, on a totally different note, the first thing that came to my mind was a book or a novel, and the person that came into my mind is Somi. He's my little brother. So I've tried to relate them. So here it goes. Wrapped up in torn sheets of my grandma's orange sari, flown in by the stork, a wailing little flail thing, was gifted to me by my mother. It was my tiny little brother. Wrapped up in fluorescent see-through poly bags, on the suggestion of Sharda uncle, a heavy pack of paper was gifted to me by my mother. It was my first set of novels. Like the intoxicating smell of freshly minted paper, the scent of the Johnson's baby powder, like the feel of bamboo pulp paper against your palms, the feel when a baby grabs your little finger. Like the story unfolding with the turn of each page, the shades you get to see when you see him grow all together. The books and my little brother, my mirror to the world, my guide to growing up, pieces of my soul, they are the two best things that ever happened to me this far.
Yes, sir.
Super.
Okay, I'm Anant. I'm a volunteer in Bakul Foundation. I work with a UK-based charity foundation, Practical Action. Anyway, so first thing that came into my mind was a camera because I wanted to sort it because I wanted to take some videos and all. So then immediately I'm in kind of a hangover since last evening. So there is this girl Puspa Panda who is a famous Odissi dancer who is one of my biggest crush, and she had a performance yesterday. So me and Saurabh was there. So I just sent her one photo of her last evening, and she. So my night went well.
Yes.
The extra thin line of kajal in your eyes, I see through them with the viewfinder of the black beauty. Makes me feel you are delicate. The ghungru of your feet brings magic to each of the shutter count. You smiled, I clicked. You smiled again. I looked at the LCD. It was blinking red. I guess it was a signal of what?
Great.
Shakti and
Make it sound believable, people.
Once again.
Okay, I feel proud. Thanks. So here you go. These are like 10 lines. Can I get your name, please?
Anshuman.
Hi, Anshuman. Yeah. So what Anshuman has suggested, and I'll just try to write it up as soon as possible. Okay. So if I were a garbage bin, I would be a great help to the community. These are some of the basic introductions that I've given. I've ended with a couplet.
No explanations. It's your poem,
Alright.
your stuff.
So it's not a poem basically. It's something I've written about.
It will become a poem
Okay.
eventually.
I keep trash and keep the city clean. I would rather consider myself to be lucky to serve the society. Yet people shy away from me. I'm there always for the people, but people tend to overlook me and really don't care about me. I try to shout out loud to reach human beings, but alas, some give no ear to me. I sometimes feel disgusted and disappointed to people's lackadaisical attitude. I want to make them aware of their miseries by giving them a deep insight to all their drudgery and how they suffer by not using me. And at the end, I have a couplet. Here it goes. If I were a garbage bin, I would give a loud cry to the people who cry, to make them aware of their follies in a manner to make them jolly. I go through stink and shit only to make the keep my city clean a big hit. Lovely.
So if I were a garbage bin,
Yeah.
if I were a garbage bin, I would have my own dignity, my own mind. If I were a garbage bin, I wouldn't just let them dump any waste they can find. If I were a garbage bin, I would talk to them, tell them to segregate, recycle and reuse. Because treating me like a dumping yard always gives me the blues. If I were a garbage bin, I would happily take what I must. Solid waste, biodegradables and all kinds of dust. If I were a garbage bin, I would want to be worthy of it with grace. And anyone who doesn't get that, well, I'll throw their trash back right at their face.
Hello.
Everyone, my poem goes something like this. If I were a garbage bin, I would take all your frightening memoirs of past and make them thin. If I were a garbage bin, I would make you fresh again. If I were a garbage bin, I tell you never to love a girl so lame. If I were a garbage bin, I could never be your kith and kin. If I were a garbage bin, could you keep your heart and soul clean?
Lovely.
If I could, I would engrave myself in this corner of Bakul's Children's Library, hearing and writing poetry. If I could, I would be the spider with freaking 8 legs to walk through all the books and settle on the poet's shoulder, always ready and to devour. If I could, I would be the hard drive of the camera that recorded what wonderful poetic inventions we have made in each moment. If I could, I would be the poems you write, so you could read me to others and I hear others read. If I could, I would be the jet flying free in the white sky, singing my poetry aloud to the world astound. If I could, I would be the wind that flows through every window and could hear you sing your poems to you. If I could, I would be that little brother who always fought and yet listened and cared, right? If I could, I'd be that fluorescent lemon yellow and draw your imaginations and poems below. If I could, I'd be the morning sun to wake you up to a new day, for you'll have more poems to create. If I could, I'd be that page without a corner. That means the page that doesn't end at all, alright? Without a corner, sitting in a corner, writing my poems. Woo!
So this is a garbage bin. If I were a garbage bin, I tell you to throw the food separate from the tin. If I were you and not a garbage bin, I'd probably reuse the tin and give the food to a needy kid. If I were a garbage bin, I read your struggles to write the perfect letter. Then probably read your rejection letter as well, with some wet tissues soaked with your tears. If I were a garbage bin, I'd want to visit the gardens whose roses are disposed of in me. Now their smell is the same as mine. But when you gave the rose to her, she said, their sweet smell would remind her of you at all times. If I were a garbage bin, I'd not simply throw out my inhabitants at the day's end, but I'd create something good of them, to remind you that even waste can be turned to best. Thank you.
Yes. So this is called if I could, I would. Right? If I could shoulder her burdens, I would. But my shoulders aren't meant for the both of us. If I could tame the chaos in her heart, I would. But then who then will put out the fire in mine? If I could tell her about my nightmares, I would. But it would not put her back to sleep. If I could, I would not make it sound so full of regrets. But life isn't a social science project. If I could mellow myself down so she would get the point, I would. But fuck this shit. I'd rather go home, smoke a joint.
Yes, sir, please.
Hi, my name is Saurav. I have written If I Could, I Would. If I could, I would be the poem which speaks, to speak to those hearts who are in pain. If I could, I would be the words that heal, to reach those corners of the world which have a lot to conceal. If I could, I would be the winds that change, to fly to the tears of suffering, to the depths of torment. If I could, I would be kindness, and double myself every second, to distribute myself in sachets to every being in the earth. If I could, I would be your dream that takes you to the world you admire. If I could, I would be time to make everything real good without waiting for the blink of the shine.
Wow. 6 and 7 out of 10. Brilliant. So now that you have got a little bit of hang of it, we will try to move on to the next segment, which is the performance part of it. Yeah. So now that all of you have read your poems, some have in a way performed their poems without even knowing they're performing. What are the basic things or points that you have to remember when you are performing your poem? One, read it 1,000 times. Once you have written, read it as many times as possible. Read it out loud so that each and every word is clear. You know that you're confident about speaking about it. The lines are clear. Keep your energy level high. Read it n number of times. 2. Are you getting stuck somewhere? Yeah. Or are the lines flowing smoothly? Yeah. So if you're getting stuck somewhere, if it's an intentional pause, absolutely fine. But if it's not intentional, I would suggest that you change that word or change the sentence structure a little bit here and there, tweaks here and there, so that the lines flow smooth with each other. Then, pause. Pauses are very, very essential when you're performing, because people need to get a grip on what you're saying. Yes? So wherever you feel that you have to make a point, you have to make people listen to what you have said, give a pause, take a breath, then continue. If there's a joke somewhere there, give people chance and give people the time to understand that joke. If there's something serious, give them stress on the words that I think are important. Facial expressions.
I am Biswajit.
Hello.
Hi.
Where was the noise?
And I have written a poem, it's more like a school rhyme, so read it.
Okay.
If I could, I would just paint me blue to be the night sky and hold the stars through. If I could, I would just paint me yellow to be the magic car and drive through hollow. If I could, I would just paint me green to be the peacock and dance in the rain. If I could, I would just paint me pink to be the lotus flower and bloom in the spring. If I could, I would just paint me red to be the evening sky and let the sun fade. If I could, I would just paint me orange to be the saffron and on it the porridge. If I could, I would just paint me black to be the darkness and take the evil back. If I could, I would just paint me white to be the peace dove and spread my light. If I could, I would just paint me rainbow to be the butterfly and be happy all I know.
Okay, so this is a poem about my, one of my favorite emotions, empathy, and it's still a little raw, so. Hello, empathy, my old friend. I don't know how our relationship came to end. It was you who told me the other person's story. You helped me shun narcissism and self-glory. I was a better person when I felt another person's anger, struggle and pain. Empathy, your abode in my soul was what kept me sane. I remember I would cry when someone else cried, and I would sigh when someone else sighed. I was happy when I saw another person do well. Although I do admit, sometimes your existence made my life hell. I would have sleepless nights and petty fights. I know I asked you to go, so I could be free of suffering. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, not a word, not a thing. Now that you're gone, I just don't care about things anymore. And without you, my friend, life is a big bore.
I edited this, and it's a little patriotic if you say. See, if I could, I would have been a better change. If I could, I would have if I could, I would have changed the whole country. If I could, I would have not let anyone enter this country. If I could, I would have stopped those lunatics who killed several people. If I could, I would have brought peace. If I could, I would bring everyone together so we can live happily forever, forever and forever.
Wow, what a transformation.
It's just you're moving a
Is British, and it is actually the earlier poem that we had written comparing. Yeah, this is all true, and like her, the first object that came to my mind was a book, and the subject is our microeconomics professor, who is a real terror to all the students.
Bye guys.
Everybody signed that, given their names and phone numbers and email ID.
I don't think so.
If you have not, please do that before you leave.
So the poem goes like, I pored over the economics book till 4 in the morning, then scored 0 in the quiz and rushed to your office. You laughed and said that the book is all wrong. Your recent research has proven the book to be outdated and worn. Confused, bewildered, I asked for your research notes. You laughed again and said that it's all copyrighted stuff. Marooned, resourceless, like a shipwrecked sailor, at last I had no option but to copy the notes of someone who had the best handwriting in class.
Oh, very nice.
So, if I were a dustbin, garbage bin. If I were a garbage bin, I'll dump the desires which misleads, the fear of life, the hypocrisy of life we live in. I'll dump the blind belief in people which kills many. I'll dump the infamous Sarthi Baba and I'll ask our Bakul to pee on it. So for information, Bakul is our pet dog of Bakul Foundation. I'll dump the caste, creed and all differences to show how life can be very simple and the surname of Gandhi cannot make someone Mahatma.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll dump you all to let you know what you all have got to dump. I'll dump all the pains, the sorrows, because they're better to be penned down. I'll dump what I've learned so far to unlearn to relearn and relearn one again and again. I'll dump my urge to be loved because it hurts. I'll dump myself to let them know who thinks they are priceless that life is a dumping zone. No matter what it comes, somewhere and somehow you are going to be dumped.
Hi, my name is Disha. If I were a garbage bin, then I would look the same. Cylindrical, small, but yet strong and stout.
Wow.
Face people in every doubt. If I were a garbage bin, then I would clean. Please excuse me if I sound like a promoter of such part of the brand. No, I am not. If I would get clean the corrupted and constipated minds. If I were a garbage bin, I would stink but still clean all sins. Thank you.
Nice, nice.
Yes, so the same poem. Well, I've written a poem about trying to write a poem. I am trying to write something, but the question is, about what do I write? Bolsheviks were left, Mensheviks were right. Then I could write about the first flight of the brothers Wright. The room is cool, there's no blinding light, and at me the night is trying to bite. They say the pen has more might, but to me, to use a sword is to be more bright. The Burj Khalifa has some wondrous height. Mission Impossible 4 there had a chase and a fight. Or maybe I could copy a film. No, not quite right. About what the heck do I write? Should I write about my Katappa kid Bahubali? Nope, even Quora can give me an answer to that. Good night.
Once again, I wrote this poem on my birthday. Neck ache, neck pain, backache, broken arms, and a headache, sensitive teeth, and disfigured nails, a flaky foot and joint pain, bleeding nose, weak arms, an unpredictable bowel, and flaps around my waist. Welcome to Old Age. Happy birthday!
Hi everyone, I'm Soumya once again. So here it goes. If I could tell you how much I love you, I would write it all across the sky. If I could be with you right now, I would leave everything behind. If I could go meet you today, like a screaming banshee, I would chase the next train to your place. If I could tell the world what you mean to me, I would fall short of words trying to fill in a big fat book. If I could marry you tonight, I would happily leave my course midway through. If I could stay warm all night, I could snuggle into your loving embrace. If I could fall asleep in your lap, I would sleep peacefully all through. If I could make you smile, I would dance for you all night. If I could be that teardrop rolling down your cheek, I would end at your lips and kiss your problems goodbye. To hear the ringing of your laughter, I would give up everything I have, because if I could, I would be with you all day, every day, till the end of all time.
Wow.
Friends, bring your family. You all are participating. I'm putting up your names. We'll have a grand show. Bring any n number of people that you can. Write other poems. Use these poems. I'm here for the next 1.5 hours. If you want to perform these poems again, we can do it on a one-on-one basis, and I can give you some feedback that you can take back home, or you can write different poems.